Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a show dedicated to the latest news and information from the office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue. I'm your host, Gina Joins. As State Treasurer, John Perdue not only serves as the banker of state government, but he also oversees several state programs. Those include the SMART529 College Savings Plan and the state's Unclaimed Property program. Coming up on today's show, we'll see how both of those programs are gaining momentum on a local and national level. We'll talk with the Deputy Treasurer of Unclaimed Property, Carolyn Atkinson, and we will also be joined by Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers. That's coming up in just a bit. But first, an annual contest for elementary school students is encouraging them to start planning early for their future. 2014 marks the 7th year for the SMART529 When I Grow Up essay contest. This spring, the treasurer and his staff traveled around the state to recognize these winners in front of their family, friends, and teachers. Kim Ward has more.
It makes us feel successful for one of our students to be successful, and we're very proud of him.
Principal Bonnie Vance has a lot to be proud of. Third grader Diesel Bryant is the first student from Verdonville Grade School to be named a regional winner in the When I Grow Up essay contest.
You want to be a scientist, and what does the scientist do?
They work in chemistry, physics, mathematics, biology, and astronomy.
Diesel's winning essay brings him one step closer to his dream of becoming a scientist.
He's won $500, and he'll get that in September. And he'll get a chance to win $5,000 when he comes to Charleston in September.
In this small Logan County community, Diesel's win could impact much more than his personal aspirations.
This is a high poverty area, and a lot of our kids come from poverty backgrounds. This gives them hope, and this gives them a chance to see, yes, there is something I can start doing now. There's something I can do to change my life.
Hope isn't the only thing Diesel is providing for his classmates.
Not only did Diesel win $500 for himself, he won $500 for his school.
Yay, Diesel!
For some schools, it is easy to decide where that $500 should be used.
We're trying to incorporate technology in all areas of the curriculum, and so we're wanting some more technology for like science centers and reading centers.
Mountain View Elementary School in Putnam County will have twice as much money to buy some new technology. They have 2 student winners this year. What's more, the winning essays came from brothers.
We were so excited because we didn't have to tell one or the other they won. They both had won. Pretty neat.
Nicholas, a 3rd grader, and Landon, a kindergartner, are the first siblings to win in the same year. The brothers learned about the contest from a flyer sent to their home and asked if they could enter.
Just had to think about it for a couple of minutes, then we just started to write.
They sat down for about 3 hours and did it all on their own. Kindergartner, we helped with punctuation and a few things, but they did it all by themselves.
Principal Sonia Hsu was proud to see the boys take the initiative.
And I thought it was just so impressive that they had done this on their own time on a snow day when most kids were probably out having snowball battles, and they were home, working on their goals, working on their future. And I just think that, it just shows that hard work pays off.
We are trying our best to instill in them they can change their future, they can change their life, and it's all through education.
Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
All right, thanks, Kim. Joining us now to talk more about the When I Grow Up essay contest and SMART529 is Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers. Josh, thanks for joining us today. And in Kim's story, we heard one of the principals say that this can really change a child's life with education. That's really what the SMART529 plan is all about, isn't it? Helping to really change lives through education.
Absolutely. I think the essay contest and the plan itself is just a way to build awareness again of saving for college. It does cost money, but it is something that in the long run is a long-term positive investment that will pay off in the future.
As a former school teacher and administrator, why do you think it's so important that we encourage children to pursue higher education, whether it be in the form of college or another form?
Well, clearly in the 21st century economy, every job that's coming along the lines is always higher skilled. Every year we see higher skilled jobs coming into the market, and the lower skilled jobs that paid the bills 50 years ago aren't going to be as plentiful in the future. We're talking about children that are going to have not necessarily a four-year college degree, but are going to have some post-secondary education. And the SMART529 plan and the essay contest builds that awareness that they do need to think about what they want to do, and that it's going to cost money, and how they can start positioning themselves to be able to accomplish those goals.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this contest. Of course, we have 15 regional winners in the contest. Each receives a $500 prize in the form of a SMART529 savings plan. And then in September, there's going to be a random drawing, and the student who wins that grand prize will win a total of $5,000 invested into a SMART529 account. That's a big chunk of change.
It is, and if you look at the amount of how much it costs to go to college today, it increases every year, obviously, but $5,000 covers, in a lot of places, tuition and fees for a year. Not all colleges in West Virginia are that low, but on average, that would almost cover your tuition and fees for a year today. So if you get an elementary school student that has that much in the bank today and invested over time, they're going to have a sizable chunk of change to put forth their post-secondary education.
And it's great if you win $5,000, but not everyone can afford to put $5,000 back into a savings account. But that's the beauty of the SMART529, right? You really don't have to put a ton of money in to get something back out of it.
Absolutely not. I mean, anybody that's invested $1 has heard about the miracle of compound interest. And you put as much as you possibly can afford into a savings account, whether it's $5 a month or $100 a month, and you're going to see earnings over time, and it's a place that your money works for you for your long-term goals.
And you talked about the fact that the earlier you invest, the better, but it's never too late to start investing.
Absolutely not. Whether it's a newborn or whether it's a junior in high school, you put money away today, and it's going to be more than it was worth when you first put it in there. And not only that, but there's also advantages I think we're going to talk about here in a little bit that you can have on your income taxes.
And we are going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm talking today with Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers about SMART529, which is the official college savings plan for West Virginia. But nearly every state has its own 529 plan, and each year on May 29th, which reads 529 on the calendar, events are held across the country to raise awareness for college savings and 529 plans. Here in West Virginia, we not only wanted to provide information for those interested in the plan, we wanted to celebrate the thousands of people already saving with SMART529. And what better way to say thank you on a warm evening than with an ice cream social? Let's go back to Kim Ward for more.
While everyone enjoyed the ice cream cones, many people walked away from the SMART529 ice cream social with something more.
These events are good places to get people to say, well, I heard about it, but now that I can sit down and talk with somebody or get some brochures, now I see how important it is for my little Susie, or little Johnny, or whatever. So
for parents like Ernest Blevins, this was the perfect opportunity to get the information he needs to start saving for his children's future.
I know we need to save for college. My oldest is 12, and haven't been able to do it lately since we're unemployed mostly, except for small part-time temp jobs.
Blevins is working full-time now at the West Virginia Culture Center, and higher education is definitely a goal for his family.
I would encourage them to go on to a higher degree, and then they can choose from there which way to go, what they want to do.
With 6 children, he will need a lot of savings to put them through college. He's one of the many West Virginia residents that may benefit from the matching grant program.
it helps some people get a match, dollar for dollar, up to $500 per child, and that goes a long way down the road. And it'll let you qualify for 5 years, and if you do qualify, that could mean up to $2,500 per child.
You can learn more about SMART529 and the Savings Match Program online. Just log on to smart529.com. Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
Great time out there at the ice cream social. And Josh, despite a little bit of rain, we did have some rain during that event. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it. This was the first time we did an ice cream social on 529 Day. And it also served another purpose, of course, not just getting ice cream, but information was the key.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the key, is to bring people out on a hot day, get kids out there, get parents out there, and again, just raise awareness of what the 529 plan is and what we can offer in the State Treasurer's office in terms of making them aware and helping them along the way with those long-term education goals.
We talked about this a little earlier, but for people who are just joining us right now, let's talk a little bit about the SMART529 program and just some of the basics. What are some of the advantages to having a SMART529 plan, and what's your pitch as to why people really need to start looking at this now if they have young children?
Well, again, with any type of investment, the earlier that you can start, the better, because the compound interest will just continue to make your money work for you even more over time. So the earlier you can start, the better. Education costs are outpacing inflation every year, so we know that the earlier that you can keep up with those costs, the better, because unless things change, it's going to continue to be that way. But also, those are long-term impacts, but short-term impacts is you get a dollar for dollar tax break on your state income tax when you contribute. So if you start this today, whether you have a newborn or a 5-year-old or a 15-year-old, it's going to pay off in dividends for you on your income taxes next year. We also give you a number of different options for your investments. We don't just have one basic portfolio. We have a number of different portfolios that you can look at, age-based, whatever you feel comfortable with to put your money. We have those options for you available.
And we also have some other incentives to get people interested in joining the plan, and to also really help make their investment worth it. I'm talking about the matching grant program specifically. Yes. We have that program in place right now, and it's still available for people to take advantage of. There are some criteria that they need to meet, but it's a great program. Absolutely.
The matching grant program is a way that for some people, for whatever reason, they don't feel that they can afford to contribute, or that their dollars won't add up over time. And we wanted to be able to offer a product, offer an incentive that if you meet our criteria, that you can meet a $500 annual match that we will match you, and a $2,500 lifetime match that will match you if you're willing to contribute that to your child or your loved one's education.
Yeah, matching grant program. You can learn more about that on our website, wvtreasury.com. Another new saving incentive that is just really starting to take root here in West Virginia is employee-sponsored match programs. In December, Sean Ball, the owner of LNS Toyota in Beckley, launched the program for his employees. It's been a huge success that Ball was invited to attend a conference for the National Association of State Treasurers and speak to College Savings Plan representatives about how to get others on board. Kim Ward has more.
Gina, this was a unique opportunity for College Savings Plan representatives to hear from someone in the private sector about what works and what doesn't work when looking for new ways to encourage people to save for higher education.
If you can figure out how to get to guys like me who do see the benefit in helping employees' children out, it's there. I think most people care.
Employer-sponsored matching programs for college savings are still fairly new. Unlike matching funds for retirement, there is no tax incentive or benefit for employers to offer this program. Employers that do offer a matching program are doing it because they believe in the cause. That's what prompted LNS Toyota owner Sean Ball to contact Treasurer Perdue about setting up a matching plan for his employees.
He's the guy that does it, and he knows exactly how to put me on to the right people to get this done.
One benefit that attracted Ball to the SMART529 savings plan is the many ways it can be used.
I don't think a lot of people realize that SMART529 is not just for college.
As the owner of a car dealership, many of his employees need technical training. Ball was excited to learn savings from a SMART529 account can be used for that and many other fields that require education other than a college degree.
Find something to create a good job. There's a lot of good jobs in the world.
Gina, that's really what it is all about. A higher education, whether it's college, technical training, or beauty school, is all about attaining the skills you need to find a good job and create a better future for yourself. That's the message Sean Ball hopes these College Savings Plan representatives will take to other businesses in an effort to start more employer-sponsored matching programs for college savings.
That's right, Kim, and what an honor to have one of our businesses right here in West Virginia be asked to speak at a national conference of Association of State Treasurers to talk about his matching program for the SMART529, only the second one here in the state to do so. Why do you think that more businesses really need to get involved with this idea, Josh, to start encouraging their employees to save for future educational expenses for their children and themselves?
Well, I think one, it's a good business decision first and foremost, but it's also just a good community decision. And Sean alluded to that. He wanted to help take care of his employees' children and also incentivize them and show them as employees that it's important to him, that it's important to businesses to promote post-secondary education, because at the end of the day, businesses in the state of West Virginia are going to have to depend on the future workforce in the state of West Virginia. And we're going to have an educated workforce in the state of West Virginia if we're going to thrive in the future. So not only one, does it show that he appreciates his employees and their hard work every day, and that it also offers him an additional benefit to offer his employees and bring in people, but it's something that in the long run is just a good community effort that he's willing to show as a business leader and be the example for hopefully many other businesses out there.
And Sean talked a little bit about this in his presentation, that the SMART529 isn't just for college. I'm sure many of his employees maybe didn't just go to college, but also used it at other types of schools.
That is an important point, and I think that's an important point that he wanted to make as well, that again, this is not necessarily something that can only be used for a 4-year degree. This is the jobs in the state of West Virginia, so many of them are not going to require a 4-year degree, but they are going to require additional training in a vocational school or community college, some sort of certification that the 529 will help you pay for. And I think that's something that we wanted to make sure, and he's helping us get that message out there to the citizens of West Virginia.
Technical schools, IT colleges, even beauty schools are some of them are on the list of schools that the SMART529 can be used for. And I think that's a great message, that you don't just have to be interested in going to a traditional 4-year or 2-year college, but there are also other opportunities to use that SMART529 money.
Absolutely. I think there's around 70 sites within the state of West Virginia that take the SMART529 plan, but again, it's not necessarily limited to the state of West Virginia. There's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of institutions across the country and internationally that will accept that you can use your SMART529 investments with. So you're not just limited to institutions in the state of West Virginia, although there are many that you can hear.
Yeah, that's really a point I wanted to talk to you about. The fact that a lot of people, they hear SMART529 or they hear college savings,
right,
and they confuse it with the Promise Scholarship.
Right.
This is something that's different, and it doesn't have to be used just here in state. There are a lot of opportunities to use SMART529 money at schools all around the nation and even internationally.
Absolutely, and that's something that we obviously want to make sure that people understand, that if they feel that they can be better trained for whatever reason in an institution somewhere else outside the state of West Virginia, that their monies that are invested here in our SMART529 can be used for those purposes.
Absolutely. Of course, you can get more information about SMART529 online at smart529.com. You can also go to wvtreasury.com for more information. Josh, it's been great talking to you. Right now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about our Unclaimed Property program. Treasurer Perdue is regarded as a national leader when it comes to unclaimed property. In fact, Treasurer Perdue and now a senior member of his staff have been recognized nationally for their years of hard work in the field. Kim has that story from the NAST conference as well.
This goes to someone who's made a huge difference to this association and the field of unclaimed property, not this organization.
The National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators, also known as NAPA, has a strong presence at NAST. On this day, members of NAPA gather to present a Lifetime Achievement Award to a leader in the field.
She is a sought-after subject matter expert and has become an ambassador for NAPA and other states' interests and rights in unclaimed property.
This year, the award was presented to Carolyn Atkinson, Deputy Treasurer of Unclaimed Property here in West Virginia.
I have to say I'm humbled and I'm overwhelmed. When I look around at the other people who've gotten this award, I feel entirely inadequate, but I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. It is a joy to work with NAPA.
Atkinson isn't the only member of the Treasurer's Office to receive this prestigious award. Treasurer Perdue himself was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012. They are the only 2 West Virginians ever to receive this distinguished honor.
I'm here talking about unclaimed property with Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers, and I'd like to welcome to the set Deputy Treasurer of Unclaimed Property, Carolyn Atkinson. Carolyn, we just saw that you won the Lifetime Achievement Award for NAPA. Congratulations. I bet you were pretty surprised.
Thank you. It was a complete surprise to me, right. So when I looked at the people around me who had won it previously, most of them had been in unclaimed property for 20 or 25 years, and I'd been doing it for about 14, so I was very surprised. Yeah.
How did it make you feel to have that recognition?
Oh my goodness, I was overwhelmed. It was wonderful. Yeah, so it was one of those things that you look forward to. You know, unclaimed property is kind of a niche, but those of us who get into it seem to stay there for quite a while. And so this was the kind of the apex of what award could be given. So I was very thrilled.
And this is an award that Treasurer Perdue had won in the past as well, so you're in really great company.
That's true. He had gotten the award a couple of years ago because he's been a great supporter of unclaimed property and returning money to its rightful owner.
And Josh, just talking about Carolyn, of course, we're all excited here in the office that she won this award.
Absolutely.
It really just goes to show the commitment of Treasurer Perdue and his staff when it comes to returning unclaimed property.
Absolutely. I mean, and obviously, I mean, having this type of recognition not only tells everybody else what we already know, that Carolyn does a great job, but it shines a light on for other states that have the same program that says we set the example. We have a quality staff and a quality program, and we can be that example for other states.
And we really have been over the years. Carolyn, tell me a little bit about your background in unclaimed property. You said you've been working with unclaimed property for about 14 years?
Right, so I came to the Treasurer's Office in the year 2000 as Assistant General Counsel, and so quickly began a focus in unclaimed property. That's where my efforts were directed. And so I served as Assistant General Counsel up in the offices of the Unclaimed Property Department until 2012, and then I was appointed as the Deputy Treasurer for Unclaimed Property. So I have a lot of experience and background, and the good thing is a lot of the memos that I wrote when I was giving legal advice, now I get to carry out as the Deputy Treasurer.
And you've told me in the past that this is really a joy for you to work with unclaimed property, to be able to reunite people with their money, and to work with the national organization of NAPA as well.
Right. I tell people I have the best job in the state because I get to give people back their money. And of course that makes everyone happy. And I really do feel strongly that it's a Consumer Protection Act that we hold on to people's money until they have the chance to come forward and claim it, and we safeguard it for them, and then we return it to them. And also on the national level, NAPA, the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators, really works to always improve our processes and to collaborate with other states, and also to educate the holders or the businesses that hold unclaimed property.
Why do you think West Virginia's program is so successful? I know we've touted many times in the past that West Virginia has really led the nation when it comes to its efforts to give back money to the people.
I think primarily because Treasurer Perdue has focused so much on making unclaimed property a priority in his office. And so that means, for example, in terms of technology, being on the forefront of whatever is most efficient to allow us to do our jobs, to get the money back to people, in terms of having staff to actually actively look for owners of unclaimed property. He has people dedicated to that, and we get a large number of claims from those individuals that actually go out and seek people out.
Carolyn and Josh, I know you both have heard the stories about how when Treasurer Perdue first took office back in 1997, unclaimed property was basically a non-existing program, and there was no real effort to get people back their money. There was no active effort by the state to make that happen. How has it changed over the years, Josh, to where now we have this program where we have field staff going out there and actively seeking people to return money to?
Well, I think it's just the treasurer, when he came into office, made it a priority. He said that this is a program, as Carolyn alluded to, that this is a program that we have been held the guardians of their property, and it's our job to try to reunite them with their rightful property. And I believe he just made it a priority, put the resources where they needed to be, and we're just continuing to execute his vision for that.
Let's talk about the basics a little bit, Carolyn. For people who don't know what unclaimed property is, because there still are some people who don't quite know what that entails, tell us what that entails.
Sure. So I had a friend after church the other day say, well, you got an award for unclaimed property. What is that? Is that like the lost and found items? And I had to explain to him that it was more like money items. For the most part, it's intangible items such as stock or bank accounts, or it could be cash, it could be checks that were uncashed, it could be life insurance policies. And so the owner has either moved, forgotten about it, died, and the heirs didn't know that they had it. And so businesses would ordinarily not be able to return that to the owner. And so when they turn it over to the state, then we make this concerted effort through newspaper ads, through employees that go out and search these people out, and through a website to be able to locate the owners, and also through the national site missingmoney.com.
And even though it's called unclaimed property, it does not include real estate. We always want to try to make that clear, because some people do think that that's included in that. But one of the things that is really fun about unclaimed property is there are tangible items when we talk about the safe deposit box items that are turned over to the state.
Yes, that's true. That's one of the things that seems to interest people the most, is seeing what sorts of items are turned over in safe deposit boxes. And you'd be surprised what the kind of, mostly it's coins and jewelry. Sometimes there are things that we have to destroy that we can't really sell. But what we do with those is we hold them for a period of time, try to locate the owner, and if we can't, then we liquidate them through an electronic auction, which you can find on our website as well at wvtreasury.com, and then the proceeds are always held for the owner.
And talk a little bit very quickly about the online auction. It's been a success since we started it a few years back, where people are going on there finding coins, jewelry, things that they can purchase.
Right, so I think we have kind of an established audience now that is accustomed to seeing that we have these consistent auctions. Lone Star is our vendor for that, but you can find it on our website. People are used to going to the website, clicking on that to see what we're selling this week, and we're getting good returns on, actually better than we had in the past from doing these electronic auctions.
Unclaimed property, giving money back to the people. We encourage people to look at this program, and you never know. We always say you might have money in your name, even if you think you don't, even if you think you aren't owed anything.
Right.
A lot of times people are.
You'd be amazed at the number of people who say when they get their check, wow, I had no idea that I had unclaimed property.
All right, Carolyn, thank you so much. Josh, thank you for joining us today as well, and we appreciate you both being here. That's all the time we have for this Treasury Notes. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or check out our blog for financial information. Connect with the Treasurer's Office today. Visit us at wvtreasury.com. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joins with the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue.